It's going to be a good one. Game 2 of the 3-game set between the Athletics and the Cardinals is next. And don't you forget, we'll talk to you after the ball game.
It is a gorgeous day for baseball. The 916, the A's take on the battling Redbirds of St. Louis for the second of 3 games here in Sacramento. Hello again, everybody. Alongside my brother and broadcast partner, Stephen Carey. I'm Chris Carey. Stephen, happy to have you back for game 2 of this series, buddy.
Yeah, I'm so pumped up. It's great to be here in West Sacramento, but a very fun team. The Cardinals come to town. Nobody saw it better than Dallas Braden did last night. He's down in the dugout. Dallas, what did you see from the St. Louis Cardinals team in game 1?
I think I saw a lot of excitement from the Redbirds. I think we saw a lot of youthful exuberance from the Redbirds, and that's exactly why I think they have started to surprise some folks, especially in the National League, but across Major League Baseball. Look, when you have youth and you have the young talent that the St. Louis Cardinals come along with, I think there's also expectations that come along with that. Look no further than what a guy by the name of Jordan Walker has done. You want to talk about emerging? I think he's done just that with a power stroke. J.J. Weatherholt's been in the big leagues for about 10 minutes and is making a huge impact. And how about the starting staff? 2.68 ERA and 10 starts in the month of May. They're putting it all together right now, which is why they've been as productive as they are.
You see the road record. They've been road warriors this year, but nobody wants to do a stop to that more than JT Ginn tonight.
Stephen, coming off of his best start in his Major League career, captain spin was dialed in on the road trip. Dallas, I know you talk about that sinker. Excited to see what he can do at home here tonight.
You call him captain spin. Well, that super sinker is a hero all its own, because that is a weapon that can be deployed in a multitude of ways. Whether you want early contact, you want to wipe guys out with it late, he was able to do both. And that's why JT Ginn, I think, was able to work through 8 innings of baseball in his last time out in the city of brotherly love. Just 4 hits scattered about, 1 run pushed across, 8 punch outs, but the 96 pitches, gentlemen, that right there is a model of efficiency, and you can tip your cap and put a lot of the responsibility on that sinker.
A's looking to get back into this series with a W, gentlemen. Let's see how it plays out here tonight against the St. Louis Cardinals, the ballpark in West Sacramento. It's the Redbirds against the A's. The lineups are set, and we have first pitch coming up next.
Everyone, visit habitat.org to learn more. Again, that's habitat.org.
A's Baseball is brought to you by Toyota. Class-leading MPG and more hybrid models than any other brand. Toyota, let's go places.
We're here for those who build America.
Well, people are still coming into this game after the Cardinals won game 1 of this series 6-4. It was a phenomenal game last night and a beautiful day at the ballpark this evening. Game time weather tonight is brought to you by our friends at Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. 76 degrees, 12-mile-per-hour winds, 40% humidity. DB, I know you can feel the nice weather down there in the dugout. How's it treating you in game 2?
Well, I'm right back at home again, boys. I look forward to it. You know that I've got the best seat in the house, and we're going to watch Balti make his big league debut.
There he is, the phenom Henry Bolte, who is enjoying all of the sights and sounds of his first big league trip to the outfield. Will captain the outfield in center today for the Athletics. They're wearing their Kelly green uniforms. I know you love that, DB. And the A's will take on a Cardinals starting lineup brought to you by your Bay Area Chevrolet dealers. Stephen?
Yeah, the Redbirds have been red hot in their start in Sacramento. 10 hits last night, and it starts with that man, J.J. Weatherholt. Hit his 8th home run of the year. Then it goes Herrera, Burleson, Walker, Gorman. Mason Wynn, the shortstop, trying to get out of some offensive skids with Church, Pajes, and Scott rounding out the order for St. Louis.
And they're going to have their hands full tonight because it's JT Ginn on the bump. The man spun a gem last time out against the Phillies. We're talking about 8 innings of fantastic baseball from JT Ginn. And once again, what you have to be ready for is the work of that sinker, because when JT Ginn has got that sinker dialed up, it becomes a very long evening quickly for the opposition. And if you're looking to slow down this Redbird team, you got to fill it up early and often. Something else he did a very good job of last time out.
The defense behind JT Ginn will look like this tonight. Let's start in the outfield. It's Rooker in left. Henry Bolte in his major league debut will play center field. And then Colby Thomas in right. Geloff and Kurtz on the corners. Hernandez and Stefanik at short and second respectively. And then Jonah Heim behind the plate. Michael Stefanik playing in his 100th career major league game, but his first with the green and gold, DB.
Yeah, I was excited to talk to Steph earlier today because it's something he was made aware of before the game, and I think at times you kind of lose sight of where you're at. You're a ball player, and I think you're at home being on the diamond, whether it's in the minor leagues, in the big leagues, but we all understand being on the diamond at the big league level hits just a little differently, and he was raring, rocking, and ready to roll. So I'm excited about having Steph back up with the boys.
Well, Steph in this St. Louis Cardinals team won 6-4 last night. 6 runs off of 10 hits. They played a great brand of baseball. Palante got the win. O'Brien the 12th save. But I know these A's don't like winning back-to-back here at home. And with captain spin JT Ginn on the mound coming off of the best start of his career, he will contend with J.J. Weatherholt, who has been excellent to start his first year in the big leagues. So Ginn is set, and he will fire home the first pitch, and Weatherholt lines it into left center. And on a hop, Bolte plays it. First pitch hit for J.J. Weatherholt, and one is aboard. The umpiring crew tonight, Chad Whitson calling balls and strikes. Felix Neon at first, Bill Miller at second. He's the crew chief, and Chad Fairchild is at third. Ivan Herrera is up with J.J. Weatherholt taking a lead. Kurtz holds him on. Now JT Ginn from the stretch will fire over to first. Back in safely. Weatherholt very speedy on the base paths, Steph.
Well, he's the perfect table setter for the rest of this order. That's what J.J. Weatherholt has done all year. Get aboard, get moved over, and get brought in. 5th in the majors in runs scored, 32 of them this year.
So Herrera is pinned in with a sinker, 1-0. That power sinker was playing very nicely, Dallas, in JT Ginn's last start in Philadelphia. Just 1 walk, 8 strikeouts, and only 1 run earned. He was sensational.
He's outstanding.
1-0 pitch on the ground to third. Geloff gives ground, backhands, goes to second. Stefanik to first, and a 5-4-3 double play erases the runner on the base paths, and a nice turn by Geloff to Stefanik. Stefanik to Kurtz.
Yeah, first pitch of the ball game goes for a knock, no problem. 5-4-3, little roll me up something tight. How you doing? And that's when I talk about being efficient. You turn the page quickly after a first pitch knock. You go ahead and get the second guy. You attack because you know that that can happen. And within a few pitches of the ball game, you got yourself a couple outs.
So here's Alec Burleson. He'll take outside, 1 ball and no strikes. 264 on the season, 6 home runs and 30 runs batted in. This is a guy who's hit .294 against right-handed pitching. He has feasted against guys like Ginn.
Well, one thing we saw JT Ginn do a good job of, especially against the left-handers, use that good 4-seam fastball, even if it's got a little cut to it at times, and that just kind of helps straighten those lefties out and keep them from diving over the heart of the plate.
That will miss. Heim does not challenge. 3 balls and no strikes. As always, as you can see on your screen in the scorebook, see the 2 little red dots above the STL and the 2 little white dots above the ATH. Those are the numbers of challenges remaining for each team. 3 called strike now, 3-1 on the sinker. Burleson 1 for 5 last night in a game where St. Louis won 6-4. It was their 24th win of the season, now 7 games above 500. 3-1 pitch, called strike at the top of the zone. Burleson thought it was ball 4, now 3-2.
Well, you can just see his reaction the way he took this pitch. Watch his upper body, almost fearful of that ball clipping him, but that ball just sailed back over.
3-2 payoff. Defensive swing fouled away.
Well, it's Chad Whitson behind the plate tonight. His father, John, in the Ohio High School Hall of Fame for his work as an official. So you know where he gets it from. Side to side, though, strike zone has been overturned on 59% of the ABS challenges. So for JT Ginn, a guy like tonight, if you've got a guy who likes the lateral movement here, I think this is an opportunity for JT Ginn to expose both sides of the plate, knowing you could get a little love in or out, righties, lefties, doesn't matter.
So 3-2 once more. The pitch is flied to right center field. Bolte on the run, still on his horse. He leaps, it's over his head and off the wall. And Burleson pushes for second. He will take a hard turn. The ball gets away from Geloff. Now Ginn covers, and good coverage by the starting pitcher, or else Burleson would have landed on third base easily.
Well, you see the pitch starting to sink down and away, and Burleson, like we have seen in game 1, just able to get the bat head right on it. And Bolte making a leaping effort, not able to bring it in. And I think you got to give a little credit to Bolte to be able to rebound quickly, try to get the ball in, even though the throw ends up offline. To your point, good job by Ginn and company to back up.
Here's Jordan Walker. First pitch swing, he'll foul it away.
Talk about a tough first opportunity for Bolte in center field, but hey, it's the big leagues. I'm not sure that's your welcome to the bigs moment just yet, but that's really easy power from Burleson. We talked to him about what it was like to hit here. Just flared almost like it was off the end of the bat, but just kept carrying.
He loves hitting at this ballpark, Alec Burleson. Jordan Walker had a nice night last night. Now he turns on a pitch foul, 0-2. Walker is hitting .333 over his last 15 games, .310 with runners in scoring position this year. On the year, .298 overall with 11 home runs and 30 batted in. Jordan Walker in the first inning of last night's game opened up the scoring with an RBI single in an inning that yielded 4 runs for St. Louis's offense against Jeffrey Springs, but those were the only 4 he allowed as he buckled down in his 4 subsequent innings of work. 0-2 pitch called, strike 3. A sinker on the outside corner rings him up. No score. A's bats come up next.
Learn more.
Scoreless first for JT Ginn. Now it's time for the A's offense to reveal themselves. Starting lineup brought to you by your Bay Area Chevrolet dealers. No surprise, Shea Langeliers is leading off against the lefty, then Kurtz and Thomas. Brent Rooker will clean up. Henry Bolte bats 5th in his major league debut, with Heim, Geloff, Hernandez, and Stefanik following him. So Shea getting a DH day here this evening. First pitch, he's swinging and lining it to right. Walker fights the sun and makes the catch. 1 pitch and 1 out for this pitcher, Dallas.
It's the southpaw, Matthew Liberatore, on the bump for the St. Louis Cardinals. Left-hander making his 9th start of the season, coming off a pretty good outing against the Friars. That was down south in San Diego, 6 innings. Just 1 earned run pushed across. What you're going to see from Liberatore is he can sink it, he can cut it against the left-hander, slider, curveball, got a little changeup he'll dabble with. But there's not a ton of swing and miss that comes with the left-hander. 29 strikeouts across 42 innings. So he's going to rely on that defense behind him to go to work.
A's offense this year, .220 against left-handed pitching. 2 balls and no strikes now to Kurtz. Kurtz himself .216 against lefties. Overall .260, 5 home runs, 21 runs batted in. The infield plays him to pulls. The 2-0 is checked up, but it is a called strike on a 4-seam fastball, 2-1.
Yeah, Liberatore's had a couple of good starts his last few times out. against some of the better teams in the National League. Win against the Dodgers, win against the Padres. He went 5 2/3 or more in each of those last 2 starts.
Now he faces another California opponent in the A's and gets a called strike to Kurtz at the top of the zone. And those last 2 starts have been 2 wins for Liberatore, the first 2 of his season. So trying to build off of that success, much like JT Ginn building off of his first win of the season. Swing and a miss. Kurtz is down on strikes. Stefan, how do the Cardinals line up defensively tonight?
Yeah, it's the usual defensive suspects for the Redbirds. Church, Scott, and Walker from left to right in the outfield. Gorman and Burleson on the corners with Mason Wynn, the Gold Glover, at short. JJ Weatherholt second, and Pedro Pajes in harness for Matthew Liberatore.
So Colby Thomas now 2 away. .318 hitter, 5 for 15 in his last 7, and he swings on the first pitch and flies it high in the air to right. Walker in the sunlight makes the catch. A 7-pitch first for Matthew Liberatore. He retires the A's in 1-2-3 fashion.
Sports fans, we may cheer.
Welcome back. Time now for Wire Cam, brought to you by Defy. Tell you that camera has brought us some awesome shots already in the first part of this season. I feel like I've got the best shot in the ballpark tonight.
First pitch strike to Nolan Gorman. Unsurprisingly, it's an off-speed pitch, as Gorman has batted .224, 5 home runs, 22 RBIs. Why is that, Steph?
Yeah, he's batting .077 against off-speed pitching, particularly the changeup. So I'm sure the game plan for Ginn is going to be go away from Gorman. And I'm interested in hearing from Dallas here. When you know a hitter has a weakness like this, how much fun is it to exploit it?
Well, it's part of the homework, right? You're looking for those inconsistencies. You're looking for what I call breathing holes. You know, you liken yourself to a seal, and maybe I felt this way because every big league lineup felt like it was a pod of killer whales that were hunting me, and I needed to find different spots that I could come up for air and find ways to survive. And when you do that homework, you're looking for those things that you can expose, those things you can take advantage of. And I mean, the numbers for JT Ginn tell you he's had success on either side of the platoon. Now maybe a little more damage yielded against the left-handers. And I think at times that's just about trying to make high-risk, high-reward pitches, especially with that sinker. You try to front hip a guy, which means you got to start that ball. I mean, for JT, it feels like you got to start it behind the lefty to clip the inside part of the plate. Sometimes it leaks back over and right onto the barrel.
2-2 to Gorman. There's a high sinker, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
You know, interestingly enough, Shohei Ohtani having a really tough time with the right-handed sinker this season. And I think for left-handers, they just try to stay on that pitch.
3-2. It's outside. Gorman draws a leadoff walk and passes the baton to Mason Wynn. So JT Ginn already matches the walk total that he had in his last start, just 1. And he'll face the righty Ginn. Dallas, we talked about it before, but JT Ginn's sinker just seems to look like it's getting better and better. What is it about that pitch that allows him to be so confident in utilizing it?
Well, it's a pitch he's been able to dominate with, I mean, really since the amateur level. And so when you have the innate ability to sink the baseball, it's something that you're able to rely on. Even when you don't have your best sinker, it's still above average, especially at an amateur level. And now you get to pro ball, you start to develop that pitch, you really start to hone in different lanes that you can attack with, or attack in, I should say. And that's where you start to see that pitch take off. But I think the complementary offerings that I mentioned, the 4-seam fastball, the cut fastball, those are things that can really make the sinker an even better pitch, an even tougher pitch to game plan for.
2-0 to Wynn. He will dump this into right, a base hit. Gorman will stop at second. Now first and second with nobody out.
And we were talking about Wynn needing to figure out a way to use the right side of the field. Here he just cuts a 94-mile-an-hour single, middle to inner third, in half, and able to get it to the right side. Now time to bear down for JT. Something he's done a phenomenal job of. Runners in scoring position, opponents hitting under 150, just 4 for 27.
Nathan Church, a do-it-all type of play. You see the infield or Geloff in. Is this a possibility for Church to bunt here, Steph?
Yeah, absolutely. But the way Church has been swinging it, I wouldn't be shocked if they take their chances and see if he can maybe get a couple out of this.
He will swing away on the first pitch, take outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Church, kind of a reverse split guy. 244 on the year. 227 against right-handed pitching, 318 against lefties this season. And for JT Ginn, has 2 on with nobody out. Bit of traffic. Church will drive that to right. Colby Thomas breaks back right in front of the warning track, makes the catch. Gorman will advance 90 feet. And the Cardinals have him on the corners with just 1 away, and Pedro Pages making his first appearance of the series.
There's the Redbird skipper, Ollie Marmol, 5th season at the helm. He's liking the way the team has performed away from the friendly confines. They've done a nice job, and I think that's part of the surprise, and not necessarily that they're winning ball games on the road, but part of the surprise of the success is it's important to win ball games away from your home ballpark. And they've been able to figure out different ways to do that. It's kind of why I mentioned in the open what the starting pitching has been able to do for them over the early part of the month of May. 2.68 ERA from the starters. Right now, Pages a prime candidate here to get you a 2-ball and get out of this.
0-1 from Ginn. Now Pages shows bunt, bunts it back to the pitcher's mound. Who's going to cover first? It's Kurtz to apply the tag. Advancing to second is Wynn. Kind of a busted play there, Dallas.
Yeah, I think initially what you'd like to see happen if you're Pages is try to force one of the corner infielders to field this ball. Looks like he's trying to push that over towards first base. You got JT Ginn kind of stationary on the mound, and if he was able to get this through the right side, then he might have had an opportunity, or at least he thought, to try to get a runner home, maybe even find his way on base, but to no avail.
Well, we're a batter early here. Used to seeing Victor Scott lay down the bunt. He's had his struggles offensively, Stefan.
Yeah, he leads the league in sacrifice hits, but we haven't seen a whole lot of them over the last few weeks. The Cardinals are going to have to win on the margins. This was talked about all spring. They're going to have to manufacture runs, and it's situations like that with Pages that really hang in the balance in games like this.
Victor Scott, a tremendously athletic player, known for his sprinting speed, but here he's going to have to swing away, with Geloff acutely aware of the fact that Scott, more often than not, can lay one down.
And recently, the corner infielders have been playing a lot further in than both Kurtz and Geloff, so I wouldn't be shocked if maybe we see him try it.
Check swing, not with 2 strikes, he won't. So Ginn now has a 1-ball, 2-strike count for Scott.
Yeah, Scott just tied up in a knot.
So JT in the driver's seat here with 2 in scoring position. The 1-2 pitch. Grounded to second base. Stefanik waits back on it, gets rid of it quickly, throws to first, and that'll retire the side. 2 left on base for St. Louis. To the bottom of the second we go. It's on the go this season, and stream the games on the NBC Sports app, brought to you by Toyota. Well, we have no score here. The bottom of the second inning, Matthew Liberatore about to deliver his 8th pitch of the game, and it is down low on a curveball against Brett Rooker, who's at 185, 5 home runs, 18 runs batted in, went 0 for 2 last night, where St. Louis claimed game 1 of this series. Now he will line this to left. It's sinking fast for Church, and he will make the catch. 1 down.
Now batting the center fielder, making his major league debut, number 33, Henry Bolte.
Well, DB, the time is now for number 33, Henry Bolte. After a stellar AAA campaign, he is now in the big leagues. Here's the first pitch. It is high, 1-0.
See if he can't put a smile on the face of the Bolte bunch. I talked about the responsibility that comes along with.
Ground ball to third. It eats up Gorman. It's into left field. And Bolte reaches. A major league hit for Henry Bolte in his first big league at bat.
You want to talk about getting eaten alive over here at the hot corner. Gorman retreating, just trying to do everything he can to give himself a little bit better hop. That ball just picked up pace on that second hop.
Dallas, with that elite speed that Bolte has, even if Gorman gloves that, there might not have been a play at first.
No, I think you're absolutely right. That's why if you're scoring at home, that's going to go knock. This ball hit hard into the ground, but watch this thing pick up speed. Right there, that ball just hits the second time on the dirt and scoots right through Gorman. Nothing Gorman could do here. Just trying to throw a little leather at it, unsuccessfully so. I mean, Bolte just keeps hitting.
4-4 up the first base line for Henry Bolte.
You want to talk about hot stepping it. Look at him just striking. And I can tell you right now, as soon as that ball got put into play and got through Gorman, everybody down here in the dugout took a step up onto the top rail because they were anticipating him heading to second. I mean, that's just the expectation. Back. You want to see this dude float and fly. That's why you got Liberatore checking on him over there.
In his time in the PCL, he was a leader in a number of categories offensively. Now Heim pops it up, and it is caught by Weatherholt. 2 are away. But what a moment for Henry Bolte and his family. Got to see his father, and just not many words to describe the feeling. A Palo Alto kid now wearing the green and gold at the big league level for the first time. He opened up a lot of eyes over the last few springs, and then I think he rewrote an entire narrative about just the type of player that he is this year, how well he has performed in AAA.
Well, that's why I think the growth for Bolte that we were experiencing in real time in spring training. I mean, kind of like I talked about with Shea Langoliers. You know, you have a great spring, a hot spring, and people are wondering, wow, is this something that can be sustained? Absolutely. Well, his heart was in the right place from get-go. Love to see that.
That is a beautiful picture. He's grown up quite a bit, hasn't he, Dallas?
He sure has.
1-1, lined into left center field. Church on the move. He will make the catch in the sunlight, and that will retire the side. But Henry Bolte has a batting average. First big league hit in his first career at bat.
Fans, you can score big on authentic gear at MLBshop.com. From official jerseys and memorabilia to hats and hoodies, we've got the entire season covered. Visit MLBshop.com/athletics, the official source for your athletics gear.
Top of the third inning and the top of the order up for the Cardinals. Henry Bolte has his first major league hit. How about that? Amazing to do it pretty early in the count. Didn't waste much time. And there's the ball. It's been authenticated. That's a treasure that he will have for the rest of his life. So happy for Henry and his family and J.J. Weatherholt. Well, it wasn't that long ago for J.J. when he got his first big league hit. He'll lead things off with no score. First pitch strike from Ginn, 0-1.
Well, J.J. Weatherholt, a part of that group that we've highlighted, I think, fairly consistently and for good reason in terms of youth across baseball that have been able to contribute to their teams, their respective teams. And I think that's what makes this game so exciting to watch, especially these days, is the arrival of that youth and the way that they've been able to contribute quickly.
Weatherholt rolls over to second, and flip to first is in time. There's your first out. Not just having success quickly in the majors, Dallas, but getting to the majors quicker and quicker. And a prime example of that, Nick Kurtz.
Well, Nick Kurtz, obviously, I think, showed everybody what he was capable of last year and has, I think, continued to grow as a player. I think a lot of what we've seen from the big fella this year has been on the defensive side of the baseball. I think we've watched him kind of ratchet up his defensive prowess, which, if you guys remember, was something that he did come build with as well, on top of his ability to drive the ball out of really every national ballpark, doesn't matter. But to watch the game of these young guys kind of round out in real time is very exciting.
Two young, fun squads here in West Sacramento. 1-1 pitch is tipped and caught by Heim, 1-2.
And this is kind of what we've been talking about. You know, you go across that top rail: Bazzana, Burns, Condon, Kurtz, and Caglione. I mean, there's a lot of big-time contributors there.
Herrera weakly grounds it to third. Geloff charges, gloves, grips, guns. The throw to first is in time to beat Herrera. 2 weak groundouts. We'll get 1 and 2 in the order for the Cards. Nice play by Zach Geloff at the hot corner.
And look, when you got a guy like JT Ginn on the mound as an infielder, you're probably excited because you know you're going to get some work. And Geloff just continues to get better and better over here at the hot corner, showing you what kind of a tremendous athlete he is, the adaptability, the utilitarian he has turned himself into.
So early traffic in the first 2 innings for Ginn, but smooth sailing in the third so far. What have you seen, Dallas?
Well, it's back to the reason he had success last time out, and that's filling it up, strike one. You know, the more and more consistent you are around the zone, the more defensive.
Burleson drops the bat head. That'll be rolled into right for a 2-out single.
The more defensive you're going to see these hitters get, and I think that's why you got to go up there in swing mode. And Burleson just once again doing a nice job of expanding his strike zone. Scoops that changeup up and able to shoot it out to right field. He's done pretty well with the bat so far.
Already a multi-hit effort for Alec Burleson, and Jordan Walker struck out looking his first time up. That ended the first inning.
14th multi-hit game for Alec Burleson. He's racking them up. Shea Langoliers has 19 of them.
Pitch to Walker. Sky to center. Bolte drifts back, fighting the sunlight, adjusts and makes the catch just shy of the warning track. We're scoreless. A's trying to change that up next. Breaking news and developing stories from right here at home and across the nation. NBC Nightly News with Tom Yamas. Weeknights at 6:30 on NBC. Terrell Hernandez will dig in against Matthew Liberatore. Not nearly as much chaos through the first 2 innings of tonight's game. It's been a bit of a pitcher's duel in game 2.
Absolutely right about that. It's been a good battle between Liberatore.
Hernandez rips that into center over the leaping glove of Weatherholt, and a leadoff hit for the green and gold. A good start in the third.
Go ahead and speak that chaos into existence. Darryl Hernandez stepping up, catching a two-seamer that starts to leap back over. Looked like they were trying to ram that fastball in, but Darryl able to just beat it to a spot, stay far enough inside.
We've already talked about one new face in Henry Bolte. How about Michael Stefanik? And Hernandez is off and running on the first pitch. Perfect hit and run. That's through the hole on the right side. Hernandez never stopped running. The A's are set up on the corners with nobody out.
Well, that's about as well executed of a hit and run as you're going to see. Ball up and out of the strike zone, and Stefanik does a phenomenal job of not only getting on plane with that pitch, but it's just really just a short, punchy swing the other way. Look at the chasm, the canyon of space he has to work with on the right side. Job well done there. Job well done by Darryl, just to keep scooting around second base. And we got some action here. 2 on, nobody out, with Langoliers at the dish.
Shea was 2 for 4 last night. Pickoff move to first, and Stefanik was caught napping.
They may take a look at this, Stefan. It looks like Stefanik thought he got back in safely, and so did Ryan Christensen. What did you see, Dallas?
Well, I think I saw Liberatore do a nice job of kind of watching where Stefanik's eyes were. Ooh. Tell you, you wonder if that hand might have gotten down onto the back just before the swipe tag, but either way, Marcotte opting to keep the line moving here. But even with one out, you still have an opportunity for a productive out to put the green and gold on the board. Ollie Marmol has that infield crashing in here just before the pitch delivered. And I mean, that's a favorite move of mine for a left-hander that Liberatore just deployed, the snap pick, the step off. I mean, there's a lot of different layers to that move, some things you can look for with the base runners that allow that move to open up and play.
Sharply hit. Mason Wynn makes the catch. Throw to third is in time, and the Cardinals get out of it. Robbery from St. Louis. This game's going to stay scoreless as we head to the fourth. Top of the fourth inning. Beautiful sights here in West Sacramento. Something even more beautiful. Dallas Braden with the ace of the rotation. Luis Severino there standing by.
That's right, Steph. I am joined by the Jefe.
As Gorman will drop that into right on a first pitch swing. Leadoff single for St. Louis.
Sevy, feels like we're seeing these guys come out fairly aggressive right now, huh? Some early swings.
Yeah, they have a really good plan. You know, I think this team is one of those teams that everybody goes with a plan.
Yeah.
They don't go all doing their own stuff. So
no, it feels like they've done their homework.
Yeah, definitely. That's why they're good, you know.
Sure.
That's why they're doing what they're doing this year.
I think something else we've seen with these guys, a lot of young talent that is starting to come along. Can you remember back when you first got to the big leagues? Some of the young talent aside from yourself, because I mean you came to the big leagues highly touted, but some of the other young talent that you were either on a team with or that you were playing against in the league that kind of caught your eye or that you remember?
Yeah, I mean, with the Yankees, of course, I mean, we got Josh, we got, you know, Gripper, who was really good first baseman with us. We got Gary Sanchez, you know, a bunch of other guys. But I always remember facing Trey Turner, Tim Anderson in the minor leagues. I remember Crawford when he used to be with the Phillies.
And Wynn plugs the hole in right. Gorman will move into second. It's bobbled in right field by Thomas. Everybody's going to move up an extra 90 feet.
Well, just like Seven and I were talking about, a plan, a game plan, and what you're trying to do against a guy like JT Ginn, if you can, is get the ball up. Sinker baller, if you can get him elevated, you feel like you got a decent shot to get to it, even with the kind of movement that JT has. Unfortunately, the ball just bobbled a bit, and the Cardinals heads up base running, able to move up an extra 90 feet. But Sevy, something we've been talking a lot about is the young talent that we see not only here with your team, with our team, the Athletics, but just across baseball. How exciting is it to watch a guy like Henry Bolte, who you got a front row seat to watch in spring training? I mean, you see a kid that can run the way he can, play defense the way he can, hitting the ball the way he's capable of. It's got to be cool to watch him come up and experience the big leagues for the first time.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible. You know, I think everybody, you know, who's been in his shoes, you know, the butterflies, everything, and get it done in the first at bat, it's unbelievable. Really happy for him. You know, hopefully he can just continue to do what he was doing down in Vegas. He can do that here. That'll be great for us.
Yes, I think so. I think so. 12 straight plate appearances with a hit. Have you ever seen anything like that in the big leagues? I mean, Judge, no,
yes.
I don't know about 12 straight, but I mean, ridiculous.
I mean, I think DJ LeMahieu, when he came to New York, he was unbelievable.
On fire.
So I think something similar to that, you know. But it would be great if we can do that, you know, just, you know, take a simple, you know, he already got one.
Church knuckles this into left center. Hernandez can't make the catch. Gorman comes in to score. Wynn moves into third. The throw is cut off by Geloff, and the Cardinals lead 1-0.
Well, it's been a combination of barrels and a combination of unfortunate bounces so far in this inning. I mean, we talk about the four-seam fastball and the cutter being good weapons for JT because it opens up that sinker. This ball not hit terribly hard at all, just out of the reach of Darryl. I mean, Darryl retreating. Oh, almost. Almost.
So Pedro Pages comes up, laid down an awkward sacrifice back in the second. Another RBI chance, and he shatters his bat. It goes flying toward Hernandez on the foul ball, 0-1.
I'll tell you, Sevy, that's the second time that Geloff has had to dodge a barrel.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't see that very often.
No, look, check out this replay here.
Once in a day, watching a series. That's not fun.
That's dangerous. That is dangerous. You ever get hit with a comebacker? Like, I mean, not a barrel, but I mean a ball. You ever
I
get
think
smoked?
I have. I don't remember. Usually, I'm very good getting those pitches, getting those ground balls to me, but I think I have. I don't have recent memory of one, but yeah, I've been pitching for a couple of years, so there's definitely one or two out there.
Nothing good to Pages. Again, has shown his ability to get the ball on the ground and get in on these righties' hands.
We can throw a slider here, it'll be great. Be a nice striker.
The 0-2 pitch from Ginn. Here it comes. Right down the middle. Pages caught looking, a big strikeout for Ginn, the first out of the inning.
And there's a reason that Sevy's the Jefe here. He called it slider. He dialed up the slider. JT Ginn locked him up. Can I help you? No, thanks. Just looking. And again, when you have the ability to crowd the right-handers with that sinker, even on a pitch that might not have the finish to it that you like, you're still able to lock hitters up. You're just kind of one pitch ahead of these guys. Looks like we're going to have a meeting on the mound. The meeting on the mound brought to you by the injury attorneys of Ashton and Price. Sevy, coming from the veteran perspective, we saw the outing that JT Ginn had last time out in Philly. 8 innings, just incredible work. What has been one of the more impressive things for you that you have watched JT go through as a veteran, watching a young guy continue to establish himself?
I think he's present. You know, he goes out there and I feel like confidence, like we got this. And when you have that in a young guy, you know, the whole team, they can feel that. It was like, okay, we got JT today. It's going to be awesome. He's going to go out there and compete. Doesn't matter what happens, he's going to compete. So I think that's the main thing. Everybody got, you know, a lot of young guys, they got good stuff.
Sure.
But presence, you don't get that very often. So for me, that's the main thing.
Love that. I love that. And that's something that I think that you have done a good job over the course of your career. We call it mound presence, right? Poise. Whether things are going well, whether things are starting to unravel, you still have to have that presence, like you're the man on the mound for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's not even like when everything's going good, you know, there's nothing there. But when Jeffrey did yesterday, that says a lot about a pitcher. You know, you go about 4 in the first inning, and then you go out there and throw 4 shutout innings. So that's something that you appreciate as a teammate. You know, the bullpen definitely appreciate that, and that goes a long way.
Scott shows butt pulls back. They throw behind the runner. Mason Wins caught in a rundown. Hyde throws to Geloff. He applies the tag, and some excellent defense by the A's to retire a big threat for St. Louis.
Well, it was an outstanding job by Geloff to collapse.
Catcher's challenging the ball call.
There you go. And how about the wherewithal?
I got it up.
You got it up. Jonah wanted to make sure, even in the middle of the rundown, Jonah knew
the ball call.
That's a strike. I'm going to need that strike.
Chad.
Well, they're going to let. It doesn't matter. They checked down here at third base and asked if he swung.
This was a strike. The Athletics have 2 challenges tonight.
Yeah, boy.
It's ABS powered by T-Mobile, and what a great sequence by the catcher Jonah Heim.
Like 9 things happened, Dallas, and everything went right for the A's.
Well, that's right. Number one, you get the strike at the end of the play, but Jonah Heim does a great job of getting wind ahead back towards the bag, and Geloff understanding that all he has to do is collapse. Sevy all over it. All over it. That's right.
There's been a lot of good plays in this 4 innings.
There has. There has. There you go. Good. Step off, calm things down.
Mark it down as a 2-5 caught stealing. That's the double rooker right there.
We're getting a visit from the law dog right now.
And yeah, I'll be done in a couple minutes.
1-2 is outside.
Well, and something that I don't know that we've necessarily experienced is Heim not able to call for the challenge in real time because the ball was in play, but as soon as it was done, still had the wherewithal to make sure he got the strike called for his pitcher. Ooh. So close. So close. Real quickly, Sevy, before we end up getting out of here, what is something that you want to see this club continue to do well, that you guys need to do well to continue to have the success I think we've seen early?
I think, you know, for us to be a really good team, I want to continue to see the bullpen do what they do. You know, everybody knows we can hit, but if the bullpen is good, I think we can win a lot of games.
I think you're right, my man. I appreciate you joining us, as always, big dog.
Cardinals score first. A's try to match up next.
Grandpa Harry and Grandpa Skip. You got Padre Chip, and now the Twins. It's been an exciting series here, I know, for everybody involved and everybody anticipating this series. I know your dad sat down with Towney.
Kurtz puts it on the ground to second. Weatherholt to an E. The throw to first is in time.
Dad sat down with Towney for the ball game yesterday and had a nice conversation just about I think what not only the game of baseball means to your guys' family, but you know how things started and what a day like yesterday means not only to you guys, but I think to baseball fans who have obviously held the Carey family name close to their hearts in multiple cities, and for good reason, because of the foundation laid by your great-grandfather, your grandfather, and the torch that continues to be passed from those fellas to your father and now you two. So I think it's been a good first day here. Steph, I'm not going to lie, I wish you would have came along with a few more hits and a few more runs for the green and gold yesterday. Maybe you got some more stashed in there today that you don't mind pouring out.
Well, as Harry would say, heading into a new inning, let's get some runs.
I'm with it.
Pitch on the inside corner, called a strike. 2-1 to Colby Thomas. I really appreciate those kind words, Dallas, especially what you've meant to my brother in his major league development. It's been so much fun.
Well, you know, you work with what you got, Steph, right? You work with what you got.
Oh, my goodness. I've been saying that for 26 years, my friend.
This is not how I need this to happen for the next game and a half. Everybody love everybody, right? Right? It's...
Oh. You know what? Steph, I'm not sure if you're aware, but we do adoptions here on Tuesdays for some animals who need a home. I mean, lovable faces. But if Estropajo can find love.
Oh, my. Thomas is down swinging on a breaking ball. There's out number 2.
Let's turn the clocks back on this date in 1991.
Hi, I'm Chip Carey, Major League Baseball announcer.
And I'm Skip Carey, Major League Baseball announcer.
And I'm Harry Carey, Major League Baseball announcer.
Will the real Major League Broadcasting Carey please stand up?
Well, that's the slimmest and shadiest my dad's been, and all 3 of the real Careys did stand up, and it's been so cool looking at a picture of that for years over my bed. We have wanted that moment for ourselves in our own way. And this is as close as I think we're ever going to get to it.
Well, isn't it crazy that 35 years to the date, May 13th, 1991, May 13th, 2026, there are 3 Carries calling a Major League Baseball game. 2 of them together, here, you and me and my dad, 1 booth over. I mean, that is the iconic picture that sat over your bed when, you know, we shared a room, possibly still at times share room. Dallas, you don't need to repeat that to anyone else. But it serves as a constant reminder of what we have aspired to and all of the opportunities that those men have carved out for us, and we don't lie about it. We've gotten a lot of advantages, and we are so grateful to be able to do this and to get to do this together and look back on that, and for it to be 35 years ago is just, it's mind-boggling to me.
I just have a question.
Rooker strokes that into left. That'll drop in front of Nathan Church. A 2-out single.
I don't know if I'm ready for this question.
Now, does that picture hang at the head of your guys' bunk bed at home right now, or is that at the foot of the bunk bed?
Oh, man. It's actually a water bed that we share, Dallas.
I will have you answer this question. Who gets on which bunk bed? You've gotten to know both of us, me a little bit more extensively.
I mean, I would probably say Steph top, you bottom.
I'll take it. Everybody knows the top is the best spot. And you know, what do you have against bunk beds? So much more room for activities.
Nothing at all.
Nothing in 1 to Henry Bolte. Already has his first major league hit. How about his first major league RBI to tie it or more here?
I'm with it. I am with it. Be a good day to continue your debut, or a good way, excuse me, to continue your debut. Take a picture of that, folks.
Liberatore has done very efficient work, 37 pitches. But Bolte can change this game with 1 swing. And he wanted it.
I mean, this is a player in Henry Bolte that's coming off of a week-long heater. PCL Player of the Week, 15 for 27, had 4 doubles, a triple, 5 home runs, and 9 RBIs. So if he's swinging big here tonight in his debut, no doubt.
1-2 pitch from Liberatore is high.
We'll take you back to how it started. Bolte with a 2-hop shot that ate Nolan Gorman up. But as we outlined, because of the speed, probably not a chance to get him anyway.
2-2 runner going. Sawed off. Gorman at the bag. The throw to first is wide, and Bolte legs it out.
And again, the speed of Bolte forcing Gorman to have to get rid of that ball a little quicker than he anticipated. Gorman trying to do everything he can to charge this ball, and I think realizing, and as the replay shows, whether he came up with this cleanly and got the throw off cleanly, I think Bolte's still going to beat that out. And that right there is what the presence of speed can do to a defense. You're forced to make a decision a lot quicker, and because there's the air of the unknown with Bolte here for the Cardinals, you can hear that he's quick all you want. That internal clock that you have to log. We're talking about a dude scooting 4.2 seconds down the line from the right side. That is booking it. And the Bolte bunch loves it.
It's game-changing speed from Henry Bolte. Now 2 are aboard with 2 out. First bit of 2-out trouble for Matthew Liberatore, and Jonah Heim made one of the better defensive plays we've seen in this series. Maybe that'll transition to some offense.
You have your best chance right here, right now, with Rooker at second base. And Dallas, for Jonah Heim, it's been a while since he's been an Athletic at home. 2020, 6 years ago. Now he makes his start here at the ballpark in West Sacramento, wearing those Kelly green uniforms that everyone loves.
Well, there was a lot to like about Heim when he first joined the fold. You see a player his size, long levers. I mean, there's power in there. And the fact that it's from either side of the plate is what you were excited about. Good behind the plate. Talking about Gold Glove.
2-2 pitch. Heim swings and misses. Liberatore labors, but no damage for the A's. It's 1-0, heading to the 5th in West Sacramento. Light up your Friday night like dynamite with the green and gold at the ballpark. Join us this Friday as we host the San Francisco Giants to open a 3-game series. Stick around after the final out for our post-game K-pop fireworks show. This is one of those nights you won't want to miss in West Sacramento. Get your tickets today at athletics.com/promotions. Well, 1-0 the score. The Cardinals lead in the top of the 5th. Ginn just threw his 60th pitch. It's Weatherholt up for a 3rd time. He'll take inside, 2 balls and no strikes. That's going to be a lot of fun. Post-game K-pop fireworks show. We had the Grogu giveaway here at the ballpark. So much fun in store this weekend as the San Francisco Giants come to town. And I know Dallas will be firmly planted in the middle to hear the likes of Blackpink, NMIXX, Twice, BTS.
You can't wait.
3-0 pitch called strike, 3-1. How are you on the K-pop scene, Steph? Not an expert. I think that's the best way of putting it. 3 balls and 1 strike to J.J. Weatherholtz. Called strike, 3-2. Okay, I get it. I'm bottom bunk K-pop guy. That's how I am to you. I understand that now. A lot of acronyms in K-pop bands. Yep. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Weatherholtz. He lifts it to left field. Rooker moves over, drifts back, and he's got it. 1 is away.
And I think that at bat right there is a pretty good example of what the 4-seam and the sinker can do for you, especially if you fall behind. I think when you start to give up count leverage, guys really start to hone in on one side of the plate, especially if you have a lead weapon that trends in that spot, which the sinker does. But that pitch right there, as we start to work our way through this lineup for a 3rd time now.
So 0-1 to Herrera, who has bounced out twice to 3rd.
That slider is going to be an offering that you can start to steal strikes with.
This is a hitter in Ivan Herrera, who has batted .295 on the road. It's been a warrior for St. Louis. Fouled away, now 1-2. But for the Cardinals, they've had their struggles on Wednesdays. Hit 185 as a club on Wednesday games this year. That's the 2nd lowest average in Major League Baseball during that day, as Herrera is feeling out his hand right now. Despite that low average, they are 4-2 in Wednesday games this year because their starters have pitched to the tune of a 2.95 ERA. That tells me a few things as the 1-2 pitch comes in. It is down low. Pitching wins you ball games, Dallas.
Sure does. I mean, what do they say in football, right? Offense wins games, defense wins championships. And I think in every sport it makes sense. You got to score more than the other team. But if your run prevention department is doing their job, it takes a lot of stress off the run production department. And when you can win 1-0 ball games, 2-1 ball games, that speaks volumes for your ability to play defense and make big pitches when it counts.
2-2 pitch. That's served into right. It will drop in front of Thomas, a base hit. First hit for Herrera tonight, his 3rd of the series.
Well, sinking fastball, and you can see where Heim set up. They want this away. Unfortunately, it just comes back over the heart of the plate, and Herrera able to find grass with it.
That was really big by Ginn, too, to get Weatherholt. He's standing on first. That might have been an opportunity to go 1st to 3rd. Cardinals have a hit in every inning of this game. And Burleson has 2
of the team's now 8 hits as Ginn brushes him off inside 1-0.
Love it. Absolutely love it. You got a guy in Burleson who's swung the bat well and has gotten comfortable here this series. Be afraid to move some feet and take ownership of that dish.
Short lead for Herrera. There's a strike, 1-1. One thing you said, Stephen, that you were complimentary of Ginn is his ability to work in on hitters. I'd love to see him continue to do that.
Yeah, he's unafraid to throw it to the middle third of the plate. In Dallas, you were a pitcher like that. You weren't afraid of anybody.
You got to attack. I think that's the takeaway. Is there's a reason you're in the big leagues, and that's something that Sevy highlighted about JT Ginn, right? Was the presence, and I think just the poise that we've seen really start to develop for him, and it comes from the confidence he has in his ability to challenge hitters.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Burleson. 75th pitch for Ginn. Works in on his hands. He's able to turn on and foul. Well, the bat to ball skills for Alec Burleson, you talked about it, Stephen. His ability to swing the bat quickly, such fast hands. It doesn't matter if it's high ball, low ball, inside, outside. He is able to do it all.
It's something that you've seen with the top 3 in this order, especially this inning, is they're going to work counts. They're going to get in deep counts, and that's taxing for a pitcher now at 75 pitches. What am I going to throw next?
That's breaking ball. That's lifted out of play, foul. But Dallas, you and I talk about it all the time. It's been fairly economical for JT Ginn. He's right around that 575 mark. Has eclipsed it with 1 out here in the 5th. But you get a 2 ball, you're right back where you want to be.
That's it. And I mean, it's a conversation point we can have every 5 days with JT Ginn on the mound. But knowing that you're just 1 pitch away from being able to get yourself out of any sort of trouble, any sort of jam. It's a nice fallback plan.
Pitch away, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
You know, I think about a guy, a former teammate of mine, Justin Duxer, who had the cut fastball, and almost kind of like a sinker, you had the ability to crowd the left-handers from the right side with that cutter. You had the ability to work off the end of the bat against the right-handers. And with Duke on the mound, when he was a starter, you felt like, man, I'm just 1 pitch away from getting out of this. Here's how the pitch sequence is gone. But I mean, think about 2 out of the big 3, right? Huddy, Mulder, Zito. Mulder, sinker. Huddy, sinker. I mean, just unfair at times. I mean, I can remember in spring training watching Mulder carve his way through his outing. I'm talking like an hour 10. I mean, he was on the golf course while the rest of the guys are still playing. That's how quickly he was done with his work.
2-2. That's lifted to deep right field. On the move is Thomas. He leaps right on the warning track and makes a nice catch. Burleson didn't barrel it, but was almost able to muscle it into the A's bullpen. But Colby Thomas, a nice play to his left.
Well, and maybe a little help from Mother Nature, as those flags at the time were kind of blown in that direction. But Burleson trying to whip the barrel through the zone quickly, and Colby Thomas actually makes this play kind of behind him. JT happy about it. I'll take it.
Jordan Walker 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a flyout. He gets underneath one and pops it up a mile high. Retreating, drifting back is Hernandez, who makes the catch. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on base. The Cardinals lead 1-0. One to nothing, St. Louis in the bottom of the 5th inning. It's Geloff, Hernandez, and Stefanik, the bottom of the order, who are coming up for their second times against Liberatore. First pitch is high, 1 ball and no strikes. Well, Geloff gave the baseball a ride in the 2nd inning, but it ended up landing in Church's glove for the final out of the 2nd. Now 1-1. Geloff 0 for 4 last night, taking ownership of the 3rd base position. The absence of Max Muncy. 1-1 breaking ball, swung through and missed.
Well, how about this? 11 consecutive scoreless innings logged for the left-hander against the Athletics. That dates back to a couple years ago.
Yeah, September 3rd, got the win in 5 1/3. Gave up 4 hits, no runs, a walk, 7 strikeouts.
1-2 pitch, popped into shallow right, out goes Weatherholt, and on the run he makes the catch. Now let's hear a word from your Bay Area Chevrolet dealers.
Serving is more than a tradition. It's a call, and you've answered it. That's why we're proud to extend exclusive offers to military personnel active or retired. And Chevrolet, together let's drive.
I hate to reminisce here, Stefan, but when we were calling games in the minor leagues, Darryl Hernandez might have been one of the best players we ever saw when he was with Midland.
He was incredible. Just the bat-to-ball skills, the defense, the versatility, and glad he's up with the green and gold, taking over that shortstop position with Jacob Wilson out.
Speaking of that shortstop position, Darryl got an opportunity at the halfway point a little later in the season in 2025 to play every day, and I think he rewarded his manager with some really good defensive and offensive play, Dallas.
And there's a reason why Darryl Hernandez is here in the big leagues right now, and it's because of not only the versatility, but the fact that you see the bat start to come along with more regularity in the field. And I've talked a lot about what it means for players to be able to settle in defensively, and whether that's at one spot or just knowing that they're going to be in the lineup with consistency, and how that can impact their offensive approach.
One ball and 2 strikes. Breaking ball fouled away. Well, for Matthew Liberatore, he has been very good tonight. Only 54 pitches, and he has Hernandez on the ropes. Did he change his number, Stephen? Was he 52 last year?
He was, and he changed his number to honor someone. The great number 32, Sandy Koufax. Dallas, my question to you, which lefties did you idolize growing up?
Well, I wore number 51 for a couple reasons. One, I wanted to be Randy Johnson. Everybody wanted to be Randy Johnson, right? And from a left-hander perspective, that was the grail. I grew up watching a left-hander by the name of Kirk Reeder, who I kind of fell in love with just from a Bay Area perspective, but being treated to watching Mulder and Zito through high school as well was something that I was blessed with. But
2-2, rifled to center. That'll drop down for a hit. 1 out single for Darryl. He's 2 for 2 tonight.
Well, again, you find yourself starting to work through a count. Darryl catches 96 on the top shelf and just hammers it right back up the middle. Exactly what we were talking about, getting comfortable defensively and watching it translate from an offensive perspective. But Steph, just to put a bow on it, knowing what kind of attitude and presence that Randy Johnson represented on the mound, I was, and still am not, 6'10". I'm not even close. But you wanted to be that bulldog, right? You wanted to be that presence, and had the opportunity today before the ball game. Slap the John Hancock on the old 5-1.
You feel like your signature game has gotten better in your broadcasting career?
Well, I can tell you this, I've had a lot more opportunity to sign stuff as a broadcaster than I did as a player. I was around for about 10 minutes as a player. I've spent a little more time around the game now with a headset on. Truly blessed, obviously, in both regards.
So Michael Stefanik, playing in his 100th career Major League game, already has a hit in his A's debut. And this is a guy during spring training that I think opened a lot of eyes on the A's side. A guy that I think many thought at one point or another would feature at the big league level again in 2026. So 90 games with the Angels from 22 to 24, then 9 games with Toronto last year, and he's here with the A's in game number 42 of the season, Dallas.
And as you highlighted, game number 100 of his career. And I think Stefanik comes along with the same mindset that a lot of these guys have, which is, how can I help contribute? How can I grind out a win for the boys?
Good lead for Hernandez, 2-1. Stefanik, line drive into right, another hit. He's 2 for 2, and the bottom of the order is cooking as Langoliers comes up to the plate for a 3rd time.
And just a little insight into how Stefanik prepared today before the ball game. I was out in the hitting tunnel chopping it up with the boys, and Stefanik said, you know what? I think I want to start with spraying the ball the other way. I got a pretty good idea of how I'm going to be attacked today, and I'm going to shoot balls the other way. And that's all he did in the cage, and that's all he's done today. And that's why they're out there having a little chit-chat. This meeting on the mound brought to you by the injury attorneys of Ashton and Price. And we saw Stefanik do a phenomenal job last time around. Get on top of a pitch, elevated, and just punch it through the right side. They're a very similar swing, but without the hit and run. And I think that's just a job well done in terms of pregame preparation by Stefanik. Tip of the cap.
Starting to see Liberatore a little bit better these last 3 innings, Stefan.
Yeah, runners in scoring position each of the last 3 for the A's. They've been knocking on the door, and this is a big opportunity with what Shea Langoliers has been able to do. .335, the American League batting average leader. Not the guy you want to face if you're Liberatore right now.
Line drive foul. Near you, Dallas. Turn the clocks back to last night. What happened, DB?
Oh, he broke out the whooping stick. Langoliers. I saw it off the bat. Well, I guess I should say I saw it and I heard it off the bat, and then it just disappeared into the Sacramento night.
Shea, 366 entering play against left-handed pitching this season. That's tied for 9th in baseball among qualified players. 1-1, but that curveball will induce a swing and miss. 1-2.
There it is, that curveball. That's a level changer. I'll see if Liberatore wants to try to bounce his curveball, or if he's going to go back up top with a fastball, maybe trying to get a chase, and if not, setting up the pitch after. Yep, there's your fastball elevated. Now it could be a curveball bounced.
Shea has struck the ball hard twice. A line out to right, then a line out to the shortstop Mason Wynn that he ended up throwing to third and turning a 6-5 double play. 3 balls and 2 strikes, and the runners are dancing off the base paths. An uncomfortable spot for Liberatore.
Just makes you wonder, what is he going to go with here? Sometimes he likes to throw the curveball at the top of the zone. That's a dangerous pitch here, right, Dallas?
I don't know that it's a pitch I would offer.
3-2. It's in the dirt. Langoliers will take his walk, and the bases are loaded for Kurtz. Bench your mobile provider for better coverage and bigger savings with Xfinity Mobile, and get Wi-Fi plus 5G that won't strike out. Xfinity, imagine that.
This meeting on the mound is brought to you by the injury attorneys of Ashton and Price. Dusty Blake out to have a word with Matthew Liberatore. It's been pretty much smooth sailing for him in this game, but now a tumultuous situation with the bases loaded. Nick Kurtz coming up. The Cardinals been pretty good in 1-run games, 2-run games. Could be more than that with 1 swing from Kurtz.
Yep. 8-3 in 1-run games. They do not want to lose this lead, especially with the reigning American League Rookie of the Year coming up to the plate. Now let's hear a word from Smud.
SMUD's Clean Power City movement is happening. Hundreds of thousands are taking action, driving electric, making clean power choices, and saving money with SMUD rebates. Together, we're changing the world. For 99 ways to join the charge, visit cleanpowercity.org.
Well, Kurtz, an opportunity with a runner in scoring position here. Has not faced that opportunity yet. 391 with runners in scoring position. He has an A on every base. First pitch, low and away in the dirt, 1-0. How do you attack this guy in this spot?
Chuck and duck. You can't leave anything middle right now. That's the priority.
Swung out of his shoes, lost his helmet in the process. 1-1.
And you can see the approach, and I think Liberatore might be onto something. You know that Kurtzy, and I think the majority of guys in this spot, you always want to stay on the fastball. That gives you a chance, especially a guy with 95, 96, the ability to rush it up there a little bit. You got to be ready to hit the heater.
1-1 pitch. fouled it off of himself, and Kurtz in some pain.
And so now you think about those last two pitches. What have we seen? We've seen a slider away that you got to swing on, and then a sinker in that he ends up pounding right off of his heel. And so if you're Liberatore, you understand you've kind of created a bit of an intersection now. Two pitches out of the same spot heading in completely opposite directions. And with count leverage at 1-2, you have the opportunity, if you'd like, to try to crowd the left-hander and go in, off, or you could try to spin a couple away from Nick Kurtz. We've seen Kurtz in spots like this attacked with fastballs up and in.
Walker playing well off the line and right. The 1-2 pitch, low and away. Pages has had to body up. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, pretty good job of smothering this thing here. Kicks off the heel of the glove, but funneled right back to home plate, kept it in front.
Two-two pitch, fly ball to left, but it will go out of play, foul.
Yeah, I don't think he's throwing it there again.
That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, do with these numbers what you will, but for Liberatore against left-handers with runners in scoring position, ERA 19.29.
2-2, fly ball deep center field. Scott going back, leaping try, and it's gone. It's gone. A grand slam for Kurtz. It had been 15 games since his last home run, and this is his biggest of the year. The A's have their first lead of the series and lead 4-1.
Pop the chain, Kurtzy. Oh, man. Well, there was a reason I wanted to drop those numbers on you boys, because you could just feel it.
Now Thomas sends a charge to right center. Walker going back, and it is off the wall. Thomas pushing for second, slides in safely. And Colby Thomas with a double after the Kurtz grand slam. The A's are moving in the bottom of the 5th.
Well, the boys are finding barrels. Liberatore tried to sneak a slider by, and the big Amish with a swing as smooth as butter, baby, delivers. You want some butter on that Oppo taco? Kurtzy's got you covered.
Here's Rooker now, a swing and a miss.
Take a look, take a listen. That one ain't coming back, folks. Just a fantastic job by Nicky Nukes to stay on that slider. And I tell you right now, oh, let's go. Let's go. That's right.
You can just feel it, Chris. We talked about it. So many opportunities for the A's. 3 straight innings with runners in scoring position. They didn't push anyone across, and then, like a powder keg, Nick Kurtz comes up and just explodes. Game baseball is so funny. Liberatore was rolling in this game. Pick your spots, wait for your moment. Right guy at the right time.
I don't even think the spot was very bad. It's just Kurtz's ability to go the other way with power that punished the Cardinals in the bottom of the 5th. And a swing and a miss from Rooker. He's down on strike, so 2 are away. But you know he's happy to get that one. Kurtz, his 6th home run of the year. It's a grand slam, the 3rd of his career. And guess who's coming up with an RBI opportunity? It's Bolte, who is 2 for 2 tonight.
And he has some speed on second, so he might not have to do a whole lot to bring home Colby Thomas.
First pitch breaking ball called strike, 0-1.
And selfishly, I wouldn't mind seeing Bolte just kind of shoot one down that right field line and watch the Stallion scoot.
Batting average still at 1,000. He will take just low. Ball and a strike. You saw Henry Bolte in the minor leagues. What stood out to you, Steph?
Just the speed. Saw him make his AA debut. 5-tool player, and he's showing it off tonight. Mostly that speed tool.
1-1 pitch inside. 2 balls and a strike. It was all power for Henry Bolte, as we mentioned, PCL Player of the Week after a 5-homer, 15-hit series against AAA St. Paul with the Las Vegas Aviators, and now 2 more hits, his first 2 in the majors. 2-1, ripped in a high pitch, and he missed 2-2.
Pretty low pressure spot for Bolte here, up by 3. You can tell he just wants to rip one over that wall and left.
At 348, AAA 348 during spring training. 1,000 right now, 2-2. Nearly expanded. Did he go? No. Felix Neon puts up the safe sign.
Bolte able to hit the brakes. Nay.
Liberators 3-2 payoff pitch with Thomas at second. And it's fouled away. Good fight.
Yeah, he tried it right there. See the approach, trying to push it the other way.
It goes that way. You got to contend with Jordan Walker's arm in right field, one of the best outfield arms in all of baseball. 3-2. Handcuffed inside. He did not go around. He held up. The inning will continue further for Liberator as Jonah Heim comes to the plate. 9th hitter to come up here in the 5th.
Tell you, that's a big time at bat there for Bolte. I mean, you have all the excitement of the grand slam from Nick Kurtz. Colby Thomas follows it up with a bolt to right. Cortez and Muncy having a little fun. But you have all that excitement going on. You got a guy out there in scoring position, and you know how anxious Bolte is to contribute on his debut night, and to still be able to engage the discipline and the patience.
Snap throw to first. Bolte back in safely by a hair. Is pretty sharp back there defensively.
Yeah, that's his main role, one of the better defensive catchers in baseball, and he knows this staff well. That's why they love putting him out there. Keeps the game under control more often than not. Obviously, this is not the ideal circumstance for the Cardinals, but you feel a lot of confidence with him as your backstop.
Heim fouls it away. So you would say Herrera is probably the first choice all-around catcher, but this guy is the first choice defensive catcher for the Cardinals.
Yeah, it's a pretty clean platoon between those two guys. Herrera is in for his bat more often than not. They have specific pitchers that each of them will catch. Herrera is going to catch 2 times out of the rotation. Pages will catch 3 times out of the rotation.
So we'll see what Liberator has at 2-2 to Heim. The pitch is taken on the inside corner. An ABS challenge will be
the
deployed
catcher is challenging
here.
the ball call.
See if Pages is correct. And he is. Heim is caught looking. But Nick Kurtz, his 6th home run of the season, is a grand slam to left center. His 3rd career grand slam, and the A's lead by 3. It's 4-1. Well, the score's changed a lot. A 4-run bottom of the 5th thanks to Nick Kurtz and his 3rd career grand slam. His 6th homer of the year, and the A's lead by 3 now, with JT Ginn now in a much better position. 81 pitches now, top of the 6th inning. Chris Carey, Stephen Carey, Dallas Braden, Nolan Gorman is up, and he's 1 for 1 here tonight. He will fly this into center. In comes Bolte. Dive, and he caught it. There's that speed you were talking about, Steph. Henry Bolte with an excellent catch in center field.
Well, you can watch the center fielder at the top of your screen. Pre-pitch setup, and makes a great first step charge. Ends up headlong into out number 1. And for Bolte, you're checking boxes right now. You found your way on base a few times. You're flashing the leather. Feel pretty good about your first ball game in the big leagues.
Here's Mason Wynn taking down low, 1 ball and no strike.
Dallas, a pretty long wait for JT Ginn in that last half inning of offense for the A's. How big is it to get a play like that from your center fielder to start off?
Well, the fact that it came quickly in that first at bat, I think, is what matters, because that just kind of helps you settle in all the quicker into this inning. And I think from an offense perspective, knowing that you just watched your guy kind of get touched up a bit, and it was a long inning, I think at times if you can, you try to be a little more patient at the plate.
Ground ball to third. Geloff positioned perfectly on the grass. Throws to first. 2 are retired.
But again, once you're given a lead like that for JT Ginn, just a ton of confidence to start to fill that strike zone up.
So it's Church now, 1 for 2. Ginn at 86 pitches. Be great for his confidence to get 2 straight quality starts, and possibly, if the score holds, 2 straight winning efforts for JT Ginn.
He's been a lot of fun to watch, Chris. Just his ability to work out of some pretty strenuous situations is why the A's are in the position they're in now. The Cardinals, you take a look, they've already left 6 on base.
Yeah, and it's JT Ginn's efforts in that 4th inning. It could have looked a lot different with the first 3 runners reaching via a single. There was an error in that inning, but JT only allowed 1 run to pass, and I think that set the groundwork for the A's to do what they did in the bottom of the 5th, Dallas.
And that's in a spot like that, all you're trying to do is minimize and build momentum. And the fact that he was able to minimize the damage, and that the inning ended in the fashion that it did, left-hander Hogan Harris starting to warm.
2-2. Church flies it foul. I hope one comes to you, buddy. I know you're waiting for it. Either it's going to get smoked or it's going to be a perfectly placed little pop-up.
Well, if it's a pop-up, I tell you, my first thought is I need to get out of the way so that Geloff can get over here and make a play without me taking up space.
2-2. Line drive to right. Thomas moves over, and it will drop down as Thomas plays it on a hop. Another hit for Nathan Church.
Pretty good swing on a slider here from Church. Pitch from Ginn just kind of sat in the middle there.
Pedro Paez sliding a bit. He's 0 for 1. The strikeout looking, did lay down a sacrifice bunt, but he's 0 for, what is it?
His last 22. It's a dangerous position to be in. This is a guy that has shown off a little bit of power in his career, but right now, if you're Ginn, you can just keep attacking.
Throw to first, keeping mind of Nathan Church. I know you've done and had extensive conversations with JT Ginn after his starts, Dallas. You could just see the confidence continuing to build on the mound.
And that's how you become a dangerous man with the ball in your hand, is you start to understand why you're having the success you're having. And that in and of itself helps you build confidence, because you're taking the work that you're applying during the week and it's translating.
Runner's going to go at 2-0. Throw down from Heim, and the called strike. Tag from Stefanik, and they got him. But St. Louis might take a look at this. It was a very close play. And we'll see what Oliver Marmol decides to do. They're going to keep the ball rolling. Nice play by Jonah Heim. 6 innings of work for JT Ginn with 1 unearned run against him. And they got him there. 4-1 A's. A's Baseball is brought to you by Genentech, official partner of the Bay Area Host Committee. We call that cotton candy sky, Steph, in the backdrop. Got a little bit of peach orange in there, some lavender.
Don't worry, I saw the Bob Ross picture of you on X. All the different colors that you like to incorporate into the broadcast.
Can you add on to that, please?
It looks like fuchsia to me.
Oh my goodness. My rookie mistake. Zach Geloff is up, grounding it to the shortstop Mason Wynn. They'll throw to first. Dallas, who's on the mound now? A new reliever for St. Louis.
Well, St. Louis right now is going to tab the right-hander Matt Swanson. 19th time he's taken the baseball for the Redbirds. ERA tickling 10. And there has been a lot of traffic that Swanson has had to deal with. The whip up over 2. And that man right there just hung a pitch that he would love to have back. Matthew Liberatore, 5 innings, 9 hits, 4 runs, all off the bat of Nick Kurtz. And he was throwing the baseball well, just found himself in a bit of a spot in that 5th inning and just could not shake it.
Third time through the order. You say it all the time. That's when a team can beat you. And the A's have done that quite a few times this year. 1-1 called strike to Hernandez, who's 2 for 2 today with a run scored. Both Hernandez and Stefanik, the 8 and 9 hitters, are each 2 for 2. 1-2 pitch slider away, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bottom feeding the top. Hernandez has a run, Stefanik as well. Then the first 2 hitters, Langeliers and Kurtz, after the grand slam in the 5th inning by Kurtz. 2-2. Lost control of that pitch. And now it's 3-2. Three and 2 from Swanson. Grounded the other way. Diving try by Weatherholt. Is a 3 for 3 day for Darell Hernandez.
Well, time now for the Allstate Good Hands Play of the Day. And a salute and a thank you to Mr. Frank S. Wright, a Marine Raider veteran, and his military service. The back of what I'll call his baseball card. Nothing short of incredible. You want to talk about a true war hero. Boys, his shoulders are heavy in terms of the accolades and the medals he's walking around with. I had the opportunity to meet Mr. Wright before the ball game today. You saw him throw out the first pitch. I mean, you want to talk about true theater. He was standing out there with 2 fellas who were accompanying him, and he threw one of them his cane, took the baseball, spit on it, rubbed it on his chest, stared in, took the sign, and gave it a heave. The crowd went absolutely bananas. I mean, you're talking about a fella who at the age of 16 joined up and said, I know my duty. My duty is to serve my country. And I mentioned the accolades. You're talking about a 2-star Purple Heart recipient. Presidential citation, 2 stars. I mean, this man, the list goes on and on. There's the cane flip. How about it? Rub it down and fire it in there. Just incredible. And I told him, sir, I could only hope to become half the man that you are, and I just wanted to thank him for his service, and I think it's a great opportunity as Stefanik down on strikes to thank each and every one of the service members, not only here in the ballpark, but at home and abroad. It is Military Appreciation Night here at the ballpark, and we would not be afforded the opportunities that we have each and every day if it weren't for the men and women who signed up, some who have made the ultimate sacrifice to defend our way of life. And I think it just puts in perspective how fortunate we are to be able to come to the ballpark each and every day.
Takes second base with 2 outs.
Well, this is part of, I think, some of the struggle that Swanson has had. Spraying the baseball around, you got guys on base.
I think the thing I was most impressed by, Dallas, was the fact that he was working out of the windup.
Well, he knew what he was doing out there.
I think Bobby Crosby was pretty happy about the whole thing. He was catching the pitch.
Well, he was laughing, and I heard the coaches talking about it after the fact. All of them equally as impressed.
Broken bat, roller to first. Burleson will take it himself, and that will retire the side. Thank you for your service. Excellent first pitch. And on Military Appreciation Night, the A's lead by 3. The 2026 All-Star Teacher Award presented by Provident Credit Union. Go to NBCSportsCalifornia.com/AST to check out Matt Hoffman of Redwood Continuation High School in Castro Valley, as well as the other finalists, and vote for your All-Star Teacher. The grand prize winning teacher school will receive $30,000. So vote now.
A little bit of field maintenance. Fresh pillow at third. Cardinals down by 3. I don't think that's the number 3 we were thinking about, but Justin Sterner is going to check into the game. Dallas, tell me a little bit about the reliever for the A's.
Well, Justin Sterner, we have seen at times come into tough spots, make some big pitches and wiggle out of jams. I think Mark Hotze has gotten very used to being able to call on Justin Sterner, whether it be a clean inning or, as I said, in a tight spot with guys on. And he'll take over for JT Ginn, who again did a fantastic job. 6 innings, had to work around some traffic. 9 hits collected by the Cardinals. 1 run pushed across. It was unearned. But you heard Luis Severino talk about how important it is to be able to work through some of those innings where you do have traffic, where things start to speed up on you.
Pages flares this into shallow right. Long run for Thomas, and it'll drop down for a leadoff hit.
Well, time now for your Ford Play of the Day, brought to you by your California Ford dealers. And this is exactly what Sevy was talking about. Made a big pitch for a punch out. Jonah Heim saw wind creeping off. Said, a little too far, my man. And he also challenged and got the strike call. That led to a punch out. Victor Scott couldn't pull the trigger. And JT Ginn, in that moment, able to minimize all of the traffic, get out of it. And that gave the offense all the opportunity they needed to build a little momentum in their own right.
JT Ginn deserves all the credit in the world, but this A's team characterized by spectacular defense, the fewest errors in the major leagues. As Scott whiffs on a breaking ball, 0-2.
Well, and even with a couple of miscues last night, right? I mean, that's still where they stand right now, and I think it's been it's just been an exemplary job by both the outfield group and the infield group.
0-2 to Scott. He'll take just a touch low, ball and 2 strikes.
Another sensational play in the outfield. Henry Bolte made a great catch in center to rob Gorman of his second hit of the game back last inning in the 6th.
Whole lot of room down the third base side for Scott. Sterner will pitch him away, 2-2.
Wow.
Weatherholt's not too afraid of a foul ball here, as it won't matter.
Well,
Scott waves and misses.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with the foul ball, Steph. It has everything to do with Weatherholt wanting to be as close as he can, and it's what we call free peaks. As you see the slider, Scott just waves over, but for Weatherholt, he essentially just took a free at bat right along with Scott there, with as close as he was to the plate.
And he was ripping at the first pitch. Couldn't catch up to the high heat. 0-1.
Who do you think got closer, Dallas? Weatherholt, Volpe last year, or Correa earlier this year?
I got Weatherholt. I got Weatherholt. And as a young fella, if there was a veteran on the mound, I'm not quite certain that I could guarantee that Weatherholt wouldn't have been moving his feet, if you know what I mean.
0-2 to JJ with a runner on first and 1 out. Weatherholt singled to lead off the game in the first. He's grounded out to second and flown out to left. Sterner's 0-2 pitch is high, ball and 2 strikes. Don't want to be too comfortable here if you're the A's. This is a St. Louis Cardinals team that has played from behind a lot this year. And JJ will rip that into right center field. Thomas over to cut it off. Pages cuts the bag at second. He's into third. And the Cardinals threatening in the top of the 7th.
Well, a pretty good job there by Weatherholt. Go down and scoop up the slider. And a nice job by Colby Thomas, able to cut it off. You see Bolte, he was ready to cut it off up that alley as well.
Said it a few innings ago, Dallas, a lot of opportunities for the A's to score. They finally broke through with the grand slam by Kurtz in the 5th. Same could be said for St. Louis. A lot of base runners, and the A's have seemingly managed their way out of trouble every single time. And Herrera will drive this to right. Thomas will make the catch. Pages tags. There won't be a throw home. And St. Louis adds a second run. It's a 2-run ball game.
That's just ABC baseball at its finest, Dallas. Here comes the skipper, Mark Kotsay.
Well, it looks like we're going to have a pitching change. Mark Kotsay has made the call to the bullpen. It'll be Hogan Harris when we come back.
Does it even count as spring if you don't go to the boardwalk? Buy online and save now at beachboardwalk.com.
This upcoming schedule is brought to you by Service Champions. A lot of games in California. We'll conclude this series tomorrow at 11:30 local time, then 3 against the Giants. Then more California trouble. The Angels and Padres down south. 4-game series in Anaheim and 3 more in San Diego.
Well, how about Hogan Harris? You want to talk about give me the baseball. Hogan Harris has been in more games than anybody. Mark Kotsay kind of showing you why he's been able to rely on Hogan Harris. We've seen Hogan deployed in a multitude of situations. Here now against Burleson, trying to figure out how to get the left-hander out. He's been swinging the bat well this entire series. And we kind of highlighted at times it's taken a bit of work for Hogan to take care of the southpaws.
First pitch to Burleson is outside. This is a smart decision by Mark Kotze. You look at the splits. Burleson's right at the Mendoza line against left-handed pitching. 200 average, 10 for 50, does have a home run and 6 runs batted in. He represents the tying run. One-0 is outside. Don't want to have to face Walker here.
No, you don't. And that's why you go and get the lone left-hander, Hogan Harris, to see if he can't take care of business against Burleson.
The 2-0. Burleson drives it to right over the glove of Stefanik. JJ's not going to stop running. He slams on the brakes late. Tag applied, but Weatherholt just gets back to second in time.
And you got to give credit to Colby Thomas, who's able to cut this ball off again and get it in quickly. Burleson puts another good swing on a pitch out over the heart of the plate, and Colby Thomas fires a strike back into the infield. And a great heads-up effort there by Hernandez and Stefanik, trying to see if they can't get Weatherholt venturing a little too far off from second base, but the young second baseman able to get back just ahead of the shovel. And to the point, Steph, now you're going to have Scott Emerson out having a chat with Hogan Harris and Jonah Heim about how they're going to get Jordan Walker out. We talked about Walker and how we've started to see some of that power that we had seen flashed early in his career and then sort of dissipate has resurfaced in a major way for the Redbirds.
So those struggles against lefties, not the case for Jordan Walker. 273, 3 home runs, 7 runs batted in. Tying runs are aboard. First pitch. He'll sky that foul and out of play.
Well, now you have the leading run at the plate. Walker 0 for 3. You know, he's struck the ball well once or twice, did strike out looking, but against the lefty, you got to be very careful.
Outfield playing deep. Walker again hunting that pitch up in the zone. He's behind the count 0-2. Big pitch in this game. Well, we'll have to wait a moment as Walker calls time. I'm sure that's going to work out for Hogan Harris as well. A little bit more time to think over what to throw here. Oh, and 2 in the dirt. Nice block by Heim, sliding over to the right-hand batter's box.
And that's the kind of confidence a Gold Glove catcher will give you. You have no second thoughts about burying a changeup, breaking ball, doesn't matter. Good job of kicking out and getting some leather on it.
Both teams 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position. And a big breaker. Walker thought about it. A tantalizing pitch, but held up.
That's been a pitch he goes to against right-handed hitters and has had a lot of success in spots like this with that pitch.
Two. Fly ball into left. Tough play. Geloff fighting the lights in foul ground. It will get into the seats.
And this is just a tricky place, especially in that area, the first base side and the third base side. If you get the ball up in the air, it becomes a very difficult place to navigate to find a baseball.
Well, it can become an adventure quickly simply because of how, and I've talked about it since we got here in this ballpark, not only how quickly the elements affect the baseball, but to the extent the elements affect the baseball. Without the presence of those extra decks, Mother Nature plays a big role.
2-2, and Hogan Harris gave him the hook. Gigantic pitch to eliminate the Cardinals' threat. They get one, but only one. It's 4-2.
This powerful performance is brought to you by Xfinity. Curtsy with the pillows packed a punch. Grand slam back in the 5th. It's his 3rd of his career. And that put the A's on board. And that's where we stand right now. Green and gold with a 2-run lead here as we enter the bottom of the 7th.
Nick Kurtz leading things off in the bottom of the 7th, only up by 2, and the first pitch from Justin Brule is on the outside corner.
And I know you say only, especially the way the Cardinals have played this series, you want to get a few more runs of insurance, but this is the part of the lineup to do it, Stefan.
I don't think Nick Kurtz is worried about facing a lefty as he knuckles one out to left. That's inside the line. Nick Kurtz moving into second with a leadoff double.
You're starting to see the opposite field power show itself more and more recently.
And we talked about guys trying to stay on pitches, and left on left, you almost overemphasize the idea of keeping that front side closed just a bit longer. You want to be able to hang in there on a breaking ball, much like he did against Liberatore when he drove him out to left center. You see the same there against Brule, just shooting him down that left field line. And when you have the kind of power that Nick Kurtz comes along with, it's really just about getting the bat head out, getting the barrel on the ball, because it's going to jump.
Runner on second, nobody out. The 1 to Thomas is low. He doubled himself back in the 5th inning. Another look at Brule's numbers. It's the walk to strikeout ratio that's been the issue. 12 walks, 11 strikeouts. Too many free passes. The 1-1 grounded up the middle. Diving play by Wynn. He can't corral it. Everybody's safe, and the A's have him set up on the corners with nobody out.
Well, and Wynn starting to shake that left wrist a bit. We'll see in the replay here. He lays out, kind of rolls up on it a bit. See him instantly ditch the glove. That right there, folks, I promise you doesn't feel great. And you see him shake that glove off quickly. Ball hit hard. Pretty good job by Wynn, though. You knock that down, you save a run, but we've got a little issue out there. We've got the gate out in left center, slightly ajar.
There we go.
There we go.
Problem solved. Justin Brule has a big problem that he's facing here. The A's on the corners. Nobody out. And Brent Rooker coming up. First pitch. Slider in. Ball and no strikes.
And now I would think Dallas A's are in a position to wait Brule out in this spot.
Well, much like I think the Cardinals' plan was against JT Ginn. If you can get him up in the strike zone, you feel like you got a better shot. I mean, against Ginn, good luck, because that is a sinker that you're dealing with. You're trying to elevate an anvil. Not easy at all. But for Brule here, sinker maybe not quite as heavy as that of Ginn.
1-1 pitch. Splits the plate. Ball and 2 strikes. Well, this sets up something pretty interesting. If Rooker can avoid a double play, got Henry Bolte waiting on deck. 1-2. Pulled foul into the A's dugout again. Almost got it to you, Dallas, but a little bit early there for Brent Rooker. One-two pitch is high. Nice take by Rooker there.
just seems to align really, really well for the A's. The part of the lineup, this spot in the game, the need to score some insurance runs against a good Cardinal team. This is the part of the order that you want up right here, right now.
Brule's going to take a peek over at first. Thomas dives back in safely. And I don't think the fans are saying Brule.
I don't think so either.
Rooker hitting .273 with runners on this season. Big spot for the A's, up by 2. He'll sky this to shallow right. Walker has a cannon. We'll see if Kurtz tests it. He's going to start, then stop. As Walker's throw gets to the backstop. Brule with the backup, but Thomas will advance 90 feet.
Well, Bobby Crosby, right away, as soon as that ball was in the air, third base coach Crosby was in the ear of Nick Kurtz. And you can see Thomas, he starts to see that ball is shallow. He gets back to the bag in anticipation of this right here. You botch the cutoff, and you can see never really any serious thought about moving up. But a heads-up play on the base path by Colby Thomas.
That's going to go down for a throwing error, advancing Colby Thomas to second base. E9 on Walker.
Well, it looks like Ollie Marmol, with his walk out to the mound, has already made a call to the bullpen. That'll be it for Mr. Brule. We'll have more action for you when we return. Baseball is brought to you by Toyota. Class-leading MPG and more hybrid models than any other brand. Toyota, let's go places. Fans, get ready for a giant Sacktown showdown. The San Francisco Giants arrive in West Sac to take on the A's for an epic 3-game series that starts this weekend. You can lock in your seats right now. It's going to be a jam-packed weekend. K-pop fireworks, Sacramento script clear crossbody bag giveaway, kids socks, and a whole lot more. Get tickets now at athletics.com/tickets. You don't want the Carey brothers to beat you to those crossbody bag giveaways. Some scouts in the house.
That's just it's not the greatest shade of orange. You know, it's not as good as, what do you say, a fuchsia?
I don't think fuchsia is orange, but Jordan Graceffo is out for the St. Louis Cardinals. A picture-perfect debut so far for Henry Bolte. Has a chance to get a whole lot better. Infield plays in for St. Louis. Graceffo's first pitch is downstairs, ball 1. He's the youngest athletic to make his major league debut as an outfielder since Aaron Cunningham. It's on August 31st, 2008. That was in on his hands. He pops that into a sea of both Redbird and Athletic fans on the right side.
And I remember Aaron Cunningham and his arrival in the big leagues, and much like Bolte, a toolsy outfielder.
1-1. High fly ball hit to right. Walker moves back. He's going to settle underneath. Here comes the throw. It goes to third. It's late. And there's your first big league RBI. Big league Bolte gives a run of insurance to the A's.
What a day. What a day for Henry Bolte, Dallas. I know you're grinning from ear to ear.
He has done nothing but get the job done each and every time he's been up to bat. You go ahead and bookmark the exceptional play he made defensively, but this is the job that you need done in a spot like this. Drive the ball to the outfield, give the big fella over at third an opportunity to get home safely. I mean, that's as productive of an out as you can make in that moment. Not only do you push a run across, you grab another extra 90 feet over here with Colby Thomas standing on third. Doesn't get any better than that. Have yourself a day.
Little equipment issue for Pedro Pages. He's going to get that in order. But Dallas, talking about Bolte, the term that's been thrown around a lot, 5-tool player.
Sure.
He's had a 5-tool night.
Well, it's been outstanding. You've seen the bat-to-ball skill. You've seen the speed. You've seen the defense.
And now Heim will lift this to left. It's curling toward Church, who will make the play. But Henry Bolte has his first big league RBI, and the A's lead by 3.
Authority of the Athletics and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Athletics.
You know, we love a good bobblehead in this booth. Those are some bobbleheads from the past. The 3 who first played with the A's and later played with the Cardinals. Big Mac, Mark McGwire, Dennis Eckersley, and Sonny Gray. Just most recently a Cardinal, now a Boston Red Sox.
A lot of overlap between these two teams, and not just in the broadcast booth, Chris. It has been a lot of fun sharing the great history of the Cardinals and the A's. Cardinals 11 World Series championships, the A's 9 of them. 2 of the Blue Bloods in Major League Baseball history.
We had a little bit of overlap in the booth in between innings too, as Luis Medina checks into the game, his 11th appearance. Sub-2 ERA has been great out of the bullpen. One of the great parts of this ballpark, Stefan, is getting to interact with the fans in a very intimate environment.
As Gorman lifts this out to right, Lawrence Butler has checked into the game. He'll make the catch. There's your first out.
Well, one of the pregame perks is you get to throw some balls out of the booth from time to time. Craig and Leslie Young got to hang out with us, and I think, Dallas, their throwing motion is a lot better than mine.
Yeah, you want to talk about arm talent ratcheting up significantly in the booth. I'm not sure either one of you could clear the outfield wall standing on second base.
Easy.
Yeah, I was a washed-up lacrosse player. I need an apparatus to get the ball over that wall, buddy. It's Mason Wynn with nobody on and 1 out.
I'm sure those pillow fights on the bunk bed, though, are a lot of fun.
They're great. Egyptian cotton. And Wynn grounds this to the hole at short. Backhanded by Hernandez. A perfect strike to first. And 2 very quick outs. As we mentioned, new right fielder in the game. It's Lawrence Butler. Shoring up that defense in a pretty close game.
Well, you got the Law Dog out and right. You got Medina, who continues to throw the ball well, and I think will continue to work his way into these leverage spots here, which has been fantastic to watch because the dude is absolutely electric when it comes to just pure stuff.
Nathan Church tied up. He didn't go around. 1-0. Dallas, the Cardinals go and score in the top of the 7th. Then the A's come right back and they score 1. It feels like that momentum shift was snuffed out pretty quickly.
Well, that's what you want to be able to do. You want to be able to answer. And I talk a lot about momentum innings and how that is slightly different from shutdown innings. And I've talked a lot about, you know, our AAA pitching coach, Paul Abbott, who I love his perspective, which is every inning is a shutdown inning, but not every inning can be a momentum inning. And when you score, you want to get the boys off the field quickly and get them back into the dugout because you're starting to generate that momentum. And if you can slow the momentum of the other team by scratching another run across, you'll love to be able to do it.
2-1. Church skies this to deep right. Butler on the run, and he'll have enough room to make the catch. Easy breezy 1-2-3 inning for Medina. It's 5-2. Is brought to you by
Toyota.
It's been a fun game for the A's. A grand slam in the 5th from Nick Kurtz. A phenomenal pitching performance by JT Ginn. And of course, Henry Bolte. Very impressive major league debut.
You have yourself an evening. Henry Bolte has been fantastic. JT Ginn, another solid outing. And you love to see a guy like JT go out there and double up, post back-to-back solid performances.
Geloff drives this to deep center. Scott to the warning track, to the wall. Geloff has homered. His 4th homer of the year, and the A's continue to extend their lead late.
That's his 100th career RBI for Geloff.
Well, the green and gold checking boxes tonight. Geloff got the chain and the mask on. The pachyderm power is present.
Sit out to right. And Walker's there to make the catch.
Well, Zach Geloff on time for 96. Geloff me ball. How about a little backside boogie for the man at the hot corner? Stay fair. Stay fair.
How about this bottom of the A's order? 6 hits, 3 runs.
It's been really, really, really good to see. And especially for 3 guys that either have at one point or another this season not gotten consistent play or started the year in AAA. And they are the big time contributors tonight against a good St. Louis team.
Graceffo's 0-1 on the ground to short. Win off a couple hops. We'll make the peg in time for out number 2. This is a really fun A's team, man. In this division where things are so wide open, you saw the writing on the wall a little bit last year in the second half. I know we talked about it when the green and gold came to St. Louis. But good times are on the horizon for this group. The good times have continued to roll for Shea Langoliers. Last night, hit his 100th career home run.
Yeah, it was his 19th multi-hit game. You know, he's yet to have a hit, but he did have a very good walk in the 5th inning to pass the baton to Kurtz for that grand slam.
He'll pull this to third. Gorman snares it, but it was foul. 0-2. Not often do you see Shea Langoliers go 0 for 3. Even less often do you see him go 0 for 4. It's behind the count, 0-2. Zach Geloff solo home run. Made it a 6-2 game earlier this inning. And Graceffo's pitch is low. Ball and 2 strikes. So not a save situation, but a comfortable one for the A's, who, as we talked about yesterday, have a variety of different options in their bullpen they can turn to here. Here comes the 1-2, and it's spotted high and away.
Real quick, Dallas, I wonder if the scoreline stayed at 5-2, would it have been Medina to come out for the 9th, or would they have rolled with Perkins either way?
I think you're probably just going to hand the ball to Perkins. I mean, I think what you're starting to see is guys settle in and get comfortable when they're being called upon.
2-2. Scalded to deep center. Scott to the track, and he will haul it in. Didn't haul this one in, though. Zach Geloff, leadoff solo home run, his 4th of the year. It's 6-2, headed to the 9th.
Recognize the Northern California chapter of the National Multiple Sclerosis Society. They provide essential support for those living with MS and fund critical research to find a cure. Through community fundraising, they are helping to create a world free of multiple sclerosis. Visit nationalmssociety.org to get involved and follow them at MS Society.
All right. Top of the 9th inning, the A's lead 6-2 after Geloff's solo home run to add even more insurance. It's Jack Perkins in the game. As Stefan mentioned, not a save situation with a 4-run lead, and he will face 8, 9, and 1, starting with Pedro Pages. First pitch, Pages gets it in the air to right. Butler broke in, now goes back, and right in front of the warning track makes the catch. 1 pitch and 1 out. Coming to the plate now as a pinch hitter, they will go with Jose Fermin.
Yeah, and this is something Ollie Marmol likes to do, especially in situations like these. You need a guy to get on base, somebody with high contact. He's hitting in place of the lefty Victor Scott. Fermin, we saw it yesterday, a little bit more contact, especially the other way.
So 2 more outs left to get, and the A's will even up the series at 1 apiece. Perkins winds up the first pitch. Fermin takes strike one on a 97-mile-per-hour fastball. This is a Cardinals team that's been tough to beat. Entering play tonight 10-4 against opponents with a record of 500 or better. A's might make that 10-5 if they're able to hold on to this 6-2 lead.
Not only that, but impact the Cardinals' somewhat pristine road record this year.
1 ball and 1 strike. That breaking ball doesn't go. 2 balls and a strike. But from top to bottom, manager Mark Kotsay pushed all of the right buttons. He trusted Henry Bolte in a righty-righty matchup in the 7th inning, despite not starting the center fielder against a righty yesterday. That just shows how confident he is in his young talent. And here's going to be an ABS challenge here by Fermin. Both teams have 2 remaining. Let's see if Fermin's right. He is not. Cardinals burn a challenge 2-2. But 2 highly competitive games. Now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Pulled well outside. 3 balls and 2 strikes. In a game that 8 runs have been scored between the 2 teams off of 25 hits. It has been a hit parade. But Ginn and the rest of the A's pitching staff have scattered those hits. 3-2. Fermin is underneath it. Shallow left center field. Rooker comes in. It's going to drop. Henry Bolte will glove it on a hop. That's a tough place. Both of these guys learning each other's communication skills for the first time at this ballpark this year. Rooker typically the DH. Bolte couldn't come up with it.
Well, you see just a slight step backwards. And you can see Rooker kind of taking a peek over at Bolte, who, and I think because that initial step was back, came up just a bit short, and you can see him say, I broke back. And that's accountability, and you appreciate that, especially from a young buck. Look, we already saw it tonight from Henry Bolte, who made a great play, diving headlong, coming in on a baseball, which is probably the most difficult diving play to make for a defender in the outfield. The one that's straight at you, sinking quickly. You have to make a decision whether or not you want to kind of backhand it or go with a forehand. I think this is a great visit here by Jonah Heim. Just trying to dial Perkins back in. At times as a pitcher, you can get a little frustrated when things don't quite go your way behind you. And I think Jonah very wisely saying, hey, here we go, Perk. You got a little cushion here, brother. Just get back in the strike zone. Let's bring this ball game to an end.
2-0 to Weatherholt, who is 2 for 4 tonight. He gets it in the air, foul. Well, home runs have really told the story for the Athletics, because when there have been runners in scoring position for both teams, they have been unsuccessful, Steph.
Yeah, combined, these 2 teams 3 for 16 with runners in scoring position. A's 2 for 9, Cardinals 1 for 7. It's probably why in a 26-hit contest there's only been 8 runs scored.
You would have to credit JT Ginn for a lot of that, Dallas. There was a lot of traffic in the first 3 or 4 innings. Finally, 1 run came across, and JT was able to deal with the traffic promptly in the starting role tonight.
Well, for JT, as we've talked about, you can let that defense go to work for you behind you and just trust the fact that you're going to fill up the strike zone and they're going to make plays behind you. That's how you work your way out of jams, instead of trying to, make just absolutely perfect pitches. You understand that, hey, my job is to minimize in the spot, and that's exactly what he did.
3-2. Make that hit Weatherholt. It's a dead ball. So now Fermin is at second, Weatherholt at first, and Herrera is coming up.
This is something the Cardinals have done all year long. Found ways to get on base. They did it against Mason Miller a few nights ago and can really put pressure on relievers late in games.
And that will bring out Scott Emerson for that exact reason. What do you think Emo is saying to Jack Perkins here, Dallas?
The same thing that Jonah Heim said to Jack Perkins. I mean, there's just a reminder of the kind of stuff you have, where we're at in the ball game, and what you need to do to dial it back in right now. And I think as soon as you see Jack Perkins pin that strike zone down again, this ball game will be over.
So Ivan Herrera, who is known for his ability at the plate, has 2 on and 1 out in a 6-2 game. He'll swing on the first pitch. It's popped up. In the lights, Stefanik calls everyone off and makes the catch. That's a big out.
Huge out.
Good mound meeting.
Ivan Herrera coming into that at bat, 11th best on base percentage in baseball, but he has had a tendency of swinging at the first pitch, trying to ambush. Perkins gets him on that first pitch.
And it comes down to the Cardinals' toughest hitter tonight. As the lifeline, 3 for 4 is Alec Burleson. First pitch is a strike. There's him pinning down the strike zone. Dallas, 2 more, and we can call it a ball game. Weatherholt at first, Fermin at second in a 6-2 game. 0-2, fouled away. 1 strike away. Where does he go, DB?
Well, you know that Jack Perkins has a big-time fastball. We've also seen that changeup become a serious weapon for Perk.
A's fans are on their feet tonight. Perkins comes set. 0-2 pitch. He does deploy the high heat. It's up 1-2.
Now, we also know that Jack Perkins has got one of those very special sweeping sliders that he can either backdoor or go under the hands against the left-handers. But again, that changeup has been a weapon.
1-2. Swing and a miss. Perkins got him on the changeup. And the A's win 6-2, evening up the series at 1 win apiece. Dallas, what a game.
It was a great game, a well-played ball game, really on both ends till things started to unravel a bit for the Redbirds. Tried to make a push there late, but you got to give a lot of credit, as we have all game long, to JT Ginn, who was able to back up his 8-inning performance with another fantastic 6-inning effort. And we talked about being able to wiggle out of tight spots. He did just that and let the offense do the rest.
Stefan, you were there for Henry Bolte's Double-A debut. Now you're here for his Major League debut. What a performance from him, and one he can hang his hat on, the first of many.
A complete and utter fantastic Major League debut. He showed off the speed, 2 for 2, 2 singles, a walk, a sacrifice fly, and an amazing catch in center. A true 5-tool night for Bolte. Very excited for the rest of his career, and tonight is a night he'll never forget.
And he brings home an A's winner. It's been so much fun. We'll take a look at tomorrow afternoon's game. Michael McGreevy against Jacob Lopez. It's the righty McGreevy against Lopez, who is looking to attack, where the A's will hope in the rubber match for a victory to claim this series against St. Louis. Well, that's it for us. For my broadcast partner, Dallas Braden, my brother and broadcast partner, Stefan, our producer, Delaire Lewis, I'm Chris Carey. Stay tuned. A's Cast on NBC Sports with Townie and Sexy, presented by Toyota, starts right now.